Hello my people, FinerBub here. Thanks for checking out the video. Today we're talking about Mount Washington, the tallest peak in the northeastern United States. Specifically, a tough but beautiful 8-mile day hike up and down the Tuckerman Ravine Trail. Throughout the video I'll cover the basic details of this classic New England hike, and towards the end I'll share more of my personal thoughts in addition to a couple bonus tips on how to maximize your own journey along the Tuckerman Ravine Trail. But before we get into that, just a little tidbit for those of you who don't know. On this channel, I'm all about sharing my thoughts and experience on the best spots to check out and the best gear to bring with. So if, like me, you'd like to spend more time outside appreciating the finer things in life, do yourself a favor and consider subscribing. Also, feel free to check out the description below for links to any of the gear or hiking information resources I mention. Alrighty then, without further ado, let us begin.
I want to say mountains again! Mountains!
FinerBub. Located in the heart of New Hampshire's White Mountain National Forest at 6,288 feet above sea level, towering above the valley below, Mount Washington holds the title for the tallest peak in the northeastern United States, hosting some of the most dramatic scenery and weather in the region. So, a couple months ago, my dear old friend Foxy turned a ripe old 28. And to commemorate the event, he invited a few of us up to New Hampshire's White Mountain National Forest to join him in his ascent of Mount Washington. The plan was to hike the Tuckerman Ravine Trail, a tough but beautiful 4.1 mile point-to-point day hike from the Appalachian Mountain Club's Pinkham Notch Visitor Center to the peak of Mount Washington, the tallest mountain in New England. Hello my people, FinerBub here. Thanks for checking out the video. We're here at the Pinkham Notch Visitor Center up in White Mountain National Forest, New Hampshire. Today, we're hiking the Tuckerman Ravine Trail to the top of Mount Washington, the tallest mountain in New England. We just started Tuckerman's Ravine Trail. Tuckerman Ravine Trail. Whew. Already pretty sweaty. This is gonna be a long hike. Hiking over 4,000 feet of elevation and 4 miles each way. So, whew, it's gonna be a long day. Got the new pack with me, the new boots. So, testing some new gear out, but we'll see how it goes. Whew. Oh man. This is a long one, dude. The Tuckerman Ravine Trail quickly skips the pleasantries by reminding you that 4 miles feels like a lot more when you have over 4,000 feet of elevation to gain. The first section consists of several steep and rocky switchbacks that forced me to stop and wring out my t-shirt on more than one occasion. So one thing I'm noticing about this pack already is that the lack of a serious hip belt definitely affects like where the weight sits on your back. Right now, feeling a lot of it, my shoulders and my lower back. Normally I'd put a lot of weight on the hips, but yeah, one of the downsides to this smaller pack compared to my larger Stratos 34. So, we've been going for about 50 minutes and we've gone a little over 1.5 miles up the Tuckerman Ravine Trail, and yeah, just very sweaty. Water break. Okay, say something funny. So, still pretty warm down here, but according to the AMC guidebook that I have, you're supposed to expect the ridgeline of the presidential range to be 20 degrees colder, plus wind chill, or minus wind chill. So, we all have extra layers, extra clothes for when we get out of the woods. mother was a hamster and your father smelled of elderberries.
That's not nearly silly enough.
So, been hiking for 82 minutes. We've gone 2.3 miles almost. This is a slog. These switchbacks, it's just like staircase on staircase on staircase.
We're almost at the steep. Yeah.
We're at a lean-to site. Somebody has the same tent as me. Cool.
What are these?
This is like for Appalachian trail hikers or long trail hikers. You can just like sleep in those. But I prefer the tent just because those always have mice in them. Oh, here we go. Here we go.
Hey, it's a good thing.
Oh, baby. Oh, dun 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 dun. I think this might be the hut. Yeah, dude. Dude, we are crushing this hike. Shortly after passing a lean-to shelter for backpackers, we reached the caretaker's cabin at the bottom of Tuckerman's Ravine, where we decided to stop and eat our first lunch, or second breakfast, if you will. Although there are several natural water sources along this trail, this is the only area between the visitor center and the peak with bathrooms and a potable water tap. After lunch, we continued on a short but wonderfully flat stretch of trail along the bottom of the ravine from which, weather permitting, you can get epic views of the world-famous bowl. Gonna be a long day. Oh wow, hand sanitizer? This is like first class.
2020, baby.
Happy coronavirus to y'all. Happy coronavirus. Oh wow, look at that thing.
Somehow I've never noticed that.
Somebody poisoned the water hole.
There's a snake in my boot.
Oh man, long way to go. We're going up the ravine that way and then traversing over to the peak. Pretty gnarly stuff, hey? Oh yeah, going up that way.
When's the last time you done this thing? It was like 3 or 4 years ago.
Wow.
I always got that.
Chase,
Where's Cable?
he's eating cheese.
Really? Oh, that's fine.
There he is.
Pretty awesome.
Keep breathing, that's the key.
I tried to retie my boot.
What was that, Haley?
So this is awesome. I hope I keep saying.
It's on film, right?
Go on without me.
fine. How you doing, Shaman?
Very good.
Yes? Where's your flock of sheep? Check it out. Wildcat Mountain. All the way down there. And yeah, these fools hiking into the mist. So we're gonna go up this boulder patch up to there and traverse over. When I did this in June, like when I was 14, that whole rock face was covered in snow. There were some assholes blasting a radio on the trail. Just FYI, if you're ever going hiking, nobody wants to hear your music. They want the peace and quiet of being outside and being in nature. And yeah, it's just disrespectful and obnoxious, and I don't like it one bit. The real climb only begins once you reach the crux of the bowl at the base of the waterfall. This section is essentially a granite staircase with an increasingly alarming drop-off to one side. Having fun?
Yeah. It's okay.
It's a pretty sweet view, eh?
Yo, you guys remember when we were down there? We were like those small people.
Oh man, I'm dying.
Come on, dude. You got it.
We can do it. We can do it. Oh yes. Oh yeah, Bumba, that's a good spot. That's a good spot.
T-Bone's really married to that thing.
Clunky shoes, clumsy steps. Yeah. This is like a really far drop right here. Hello. Hello.
Yeah.
What's down there? I don't know. Death? Hey, buddy. Long way down. Getting blister on my heel. Okay, Yvonne's picking his nose. Oh man, look at this fog just like steamrolling up the mountain.
About to be engulfed.
Boomba, we're getting engulfed in the fog. The mists of Avalon.
Whoa! Oh! This is like Hunger Games. It's like the fog.
Yeah, when the White Walkers come. Oh, the radio are coming up. Hey. My anger towards those assholes is making me go fast.
Yeah.
Man, it's beautiful up here. Some asshole just keeps blasting his radio. It's so annoying. Pisses me off, ruins the experience. Really wish people would have more respect. Yeah, it's annoying. I hate that. We are approaching some sort of milestone here. A sign. Oh, Davis Path again. After reaching the top of the ravine, we hit an intersection where we turned right towards the summit. Ooh, this is much warmer than when I did this hike back in June of 2004. I was basically in a fleece and a windbreaker during the whole second half. But today, the sun keeps poking through. It's been nice and warm. Looks like we're almost there. You can see a little weather tower marker at the top. How you doing, Bumba?
Hungry.
Yeah, I'm hungry too. I need to keep moving, I'm getting cold. Almost there. Almost there. Although the scenery was more dramatic while climbing out of the bowl, the final push for the peak was by far the most strenuous section of this hike. An impossible labyrinth of razor-sharp rock, if you will. There's the Bumba. I don't know if you can see that little orange thingy. That's the top. So close. Last leg. This definitely would have been easier with my Scarpa shoes. Okay, here we are. Almost at the top. My leg's cramping up. We're doing it. 20 more yards. You can see cars. That's a good sign. Mount Washington, baby. We did it. The peak of Mount Washington is undoubtedly the worst part of the hike and possibly the worst place to be in all of White Mountain National Forest. You know that serene sense of pride that washes over you when you sit atop a mountain you've just climbed, soaking in your accomplishments surrounded by the silence of nature? Well, there was none of that here. Crossing over the threshold from hiking trail to parking lot feels like a slap in the face when you're reminded that the tallest and most epic mountain in the region is also the most commercialized. So, in an attempt to avoid the crowds and experience some relative degree of peace and quiet, we refilled our water bottles at the spigot and found a patch of secluded rocks where we could eat our second lunch before beginning our descent. That's where we are, the city in the clouds. Back to nature. Oh, downhill muscles, totally different. Oh. Man, the lichen is so green. Everything's so green. Oh boy. This actually makes me happy I wore the boots. The downhill. The uphill is way worse with the heavy boots. Cool stuff. Look at that, Bumba.
I'm looking.
It's amazing! It's amazing! Far over the misty mountains cold, through dungeons deep and caverns old. Cold is my comfort. Cold is like, gives you opportunity for coziness. Hot is just like uncomfortable. Yeah, can't take your skin off. Oh. 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 You don't want to wait for the people? But what about the people? No. Do it for the people, Bumba. At least that guy had like the common decency to wear headphones, you know?
I think a lot of people do.
What up, Washington crew? No, it's a video. It's a video. Butt slide. Butt slide. That is what you call a Tuckerman's. Tuckerman Ravine. It's a big old bowl. I can see the little huts all the way down there.
But you can't put any cereal in it.
Oh man. I'm a little tired. Cookies and steaks and burgers tonight. Yum 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 in my tum tum tum.
That's Wildcat?
Yeah. Hey. Well, the ski resort, but like there's multiple Wildcat peaks. Luckily, the weather cleared up on our way down, so we got to see some truly majestic views that made up for the crowded peak. Personal reflections. It's very pretty here.
It's like really pretty.
Look at these flowers. So, what are my thoughts after my second time hiking this trail? Well, let's just say that I have mixed feelings. If we're just talking about the hike itself, I think it's safe to admit that the trail provides access to some of the most epic and gorgeous scenery that the area has to offer, especially the sections inside of Tuckerman's Ravine. And the tough, rocky terrain combined with the fact that Mount Washington is the tallest peak in the region makes the reward of hiking it feel that much more fulfilling. Paved roads and cog rails aside, the Tuckerman Ravine Trail is the most popular route up the most popular mountain in the area, and as a result, it's one of the most, if not the most, well-established and well-maintained trails in the White Mountains. What do you think, Bumba? The trail has nicely curated lookout points and fancy bridges, in addition to spigots with potable water and bathrooms with plumbing at the top, bottom, and halfway point. The only thing missing is the hike-in, hike-out condos. This brings me to bonus tip number 1. Do whatever it takes to hike this trail on a weekday. As epic as this trail is, its popularity can easily ruin the experience. As I mentioned before, we hiked this trail on a weekend. So, in addition to the crowds at the top, we also had to deal with disrespectful hikers who were happily ignorant enough to ruin the ambiance for everyone else. On our way up, we passed not one, but 2 different groups of Dolby Digital who were compelled to DJ for everyone on the trail with the separate from their phone speakers that they chose to carry up a mountain. Now, don't get me wrong. Lots of people like to listen to music, podcasts, and audiobooks while out on the trail, and I have no problem with people who choose to do so with headphones. In fact, I'm sure I'd do it more often if I did more solo hikes. But yeah, bottom line, blasting music on a hiking trail is selfish and rude, and you should be ashamed of yourself if you decided that it was okay to ruin a nature excursion for someone else, especially since most of us don't get out all that often anyway. Okay. I could beat that dead horse into eternity, but alas, we must move on. Bonus tip number 2. Layers. This, my people, is a long and exhausting hike, and even though the weather may seem mild at the bottom, according to my AMC guidebook, hikers should expect the temperature at the peak to be 20 degrees colder, and that's not accounting for wind chill, which, you guessed it, actually makes a big difference. The weather station at the peak of Mount Washington happens to hold the world record for the fastest wind speed clocked outside of a tornado. Bottom line, everyone hiking this trail should carry a fleece, a rain shell, a dry, non-cotton t-shirt, and a dry, non-cotton pair of socks. For more info on that sort of thing, be sure to check out my video on all the gear I bring on a day hike. Bonus tip number 3, carry water strategically. This is a long, hard hike, and you most definitely need to stay hydrated throughout. However, water is heavy, probably the heaviest thing you'll carry, unless you're one of those assholes hiking with a boombox. My point is that this trail was littered with natural water sources, and there were potable fountains at the top and bottom in addition to a well pump by the caretaker's hut about halfway up the mountain. So 3 spigots and at least twice as many natural water sources. Knowing that there would be spigots, I foolishly decided against bringing a filter and instead opted for 2 of my 1.5 liter Nalgene bottles, which when full essentially double the weight of my pack. I think if I were to do this hike again, I'd probably just bring 1 empty Nalgene that I could refill at the fountains and just pack my Katadyn BeFree water filter so I could fill up at the natural water sources if I ran out of tap water between the spigots. Just make sure that you don't filter any tap water with your hiking filters. Tap water has all sorts of additives and such that can ruin filters that are only meant to filter out biological contaminants like those found in natural water sources. And that's really all there is to it. All in all, despite the crowds and inconsiderate hikers, it was nice to finally get outside and spend some time with friends in such an incredible setting. So there you have it, folks. I want to wish a very warm welcome to those of you who are new to the channel. If this is the first video of mine that you've seen, I just want to let you know that I also make gear review videos in addition to the hiking videos like this one. So if you're curious about some of the gear I brought on this hike, or you just want to learn about some more exciting new places, via yours truly, I'll leave some links down below that should suit you quite nicely. Alrighty, my people, that concludes today's episode of the FinerBub Show. If you've already hiked the Tuckerman Ravine Trail, or if you have any questions or suggestions for where I should go next, I'd love to have you comment below, especially if you think your insight can help me disprove something that I think I already know. But before you do, I just want to thank you so much for watching. I really do appreciate it. If you're planning your next trip or looking for new gear, don't let the small details stress you out. Remember, life's an adventure, so relax, breathe in the outdoors, and don't forget to appreciate the finer things in life. See you out there, people. Peace.
Look what I did.
Oh no!
What?
David's butt. Yeah.
Who did that? Not I.
David's fight?